y'all, and welcome. Last weekend, we decided to go ahead and drive to Cherry Creek Falls Trail. It is right outside Duvall, Washington. It is a really beautiful drive. Washington is beautiful this time of year, and it was a really warm day, and it was just, you could see everything that day. It was really, really gorgeous. I decided this week that I'd take you along and show you what we got to see and all the sights and how the trails went and how it all went down this last weekend. And here's Duvall, Washington. We actually wanted to come back and hit some of the shops, and they have a little ice creamery that's like serving the ice cream right now outside. But we unfortunately ran out of time. We got there a little bit later than we expected in the afternoon. So if it was me and I were to go again, I'd go early in the day and then probably hit the shops and catch some, ice cream or lunch or whatever. They did have some restaurants that were serving food outside right now. And it was, like I said, a really pretty drive. Here's a weird turn I was just going to show you, because we went around and around trying to find it in a Waze. And if I can tell you, you need to put your Waze to the Trailhead is what needs to be marked at. Hi y'all, welcome back. Today we are at Cherry Creek Falls, and I'm here with the family. So let's go see what this is all about. There is a waterfall at the end, so we're pretty excited. It was really hard to find. I will try to link it, because if you follow Waze or Yelp Maps, are all wrong. Okay, let's go see what this is all about. It's gonna be super fun. Okay, y'all, I wanted to show you guys this part. This is the weird part. There is really no parking to this place, and the entrance is even a more weirder part. So you have to find, and it's kind of hard to find a parking spot on busy days. That's all they have. They have like two streets of parking, and that's all there is. We lucked out and happened to find a really good parking spot, and you just walk right in, and you don't even know. There's a sign so you can see where it meets, and if you're lost, here it is, because I know you're going to be looking for the entrance thinking, where in the world is it? And it's right here. That's it. That's the entrance. It's like this small little entrance. It's actually a trail between two pieces of private property. First, I had to show you this. They have a sign that's like mountain lion and area, and it tells you, of course, what you're supposed to do, which is like make a lot of noise, move quickly, unlike at bear where you're supposed to move slowly. I know my kids have grown up pretty much in the state, and believe it or not, they have like outdoor bear training of like what to do. I remember my son's elementary school, a bear actually came onto campus during recess. I was like, oh my God, you're living in Washington when a bear is out on the playground and they have to call the kids in. It's crazy. I know. Sorry. It's a lot of back. We have a lot of bottom action here because I am shorter than the rest of my family, and for some reason I have the shortest legs and I'm always in the back. I don't know why. And plus I had my camera, so everybody was like, come on, come on. So in the beginning of this hike, it went really good. As you can tell in the car, I was pretty excited, pretty pumped. And if you don't know, and you haven't watched all our videos, my daughter is visually impaired. And so before we go on hikes, I try to really research it out, try to talk to people that have been on the hike to tell me how hard this hike is going to actually be. Because I think sometimes when they don't see her, she doesn't normally carry her cane all the time with her, but she has no depth perception at all. To have depth perception, you actually have to have two eyes that work together. And her eyes actually don't work together, so she has no depth perception, and her field of vision is not very great. She has nothing on the left or right, just like right and straight in front of her. So I have to be really cognizant about where we go, and usually try to ask around. Of course, that's her with her long legs looking at me like, are you ever gonna come? Well, it was really pretty there. It is really pretty, okay? And the trees are pretty. If I were to go again, this is what I tell you. Do not, and I repeat, do not go when it's so hot. It was really hot that day. We went late in the afternoon, and about, I don't know, probably about 3/4 to a mile in, I started getting mosquito bites. And I'm not talking like a few, I am talking like a lot. And they got like gigantic welts all over. I hate mosquitoes. I'm originally from Texas, and I don't know, I just grew up getting bit all the time, and I get these huge welts. And the one thing I usually love about Washington is there's never mosquitoes out, but for some reason that day, probably one of the hottest days, was like 92 or something, and we decided to go on a hike. It was just, oh my god, so many mosquitoes. I should have brought some spray. I was not prepared for the heat, and it wasn't just hot, it was really humid that day. It was humid. We had our mask on. There's quite a few people, so we had to put on our mask, obviously, when people were coming by on the trails right now. And there was quite a few people, so you're going up and down in elevation. As you can see, this is quite the hill, especially if you're filming. In some parts, I actually wasn't able to show it to you because it got so rough, I couldn't use my camera. Now, I did see a lot of families with little toddlers. And I don't know, I think, you know, originally people told us this was easy hike. And I would tell you, with a visually impaired child and the mosquitoes and the heat, this was not that easy. And it's 2.5 miles to the waterfalls and 2.5 miles back. And it's not flat. I know some people say it's flat. And when I look on like, I think it's like alltrails.com or something. From now on, I am checking that site because, yeah, alltrails.com, because it says, well, it's a moderate hike, you know, which also, but it says kid friendly. I'm not sure if I would say that. I saw a lot of toddlers crying that day, I'll tell you. And maybe it was because of the heat. I don't know. Elena said that she loved the heat, though, today in the car. We got in there and she was like, oh my God, it's so hot. Oh my God, I can't stand it, you know. So, I don't know. But yeah, but it was really pretty there. So I would say if you're going to go right now during the summer months, I would say go early in the day, because we went late, and then it took us way longer than we expected because of the different elevations, and we had to be extremely careful. I'll show you some more of it. And then I wanted to show you that sign because the trails, they lead different ways, and then you're out there on your own, you have no idea which way to go. So if you look into the trees, I want to say that most of the turns have something in the trees. Like there's a little sign, and one part some guy like carved it out with a knife. So if you look around, you'll probably be able to find it. And I know this is like a different Sunday video than we normally do, but I hope you guys are getting out with your families, getting out of the house, and getting exercise, since that's what we're trying to promote on Sundays. Is trying to get out and get some exercise, and nothing is better than going on a hike with your family. But I will tell you, this hike was not my most enjoyable hike ever. Like I said, I was eaten by mosquitoes, and I will show you some of the cuts coming up. It was, I would say, for some people, it could be, I would say, moderate. I mean, it's not like hard. It's not like mountain hard, but for people that told me that this was even, it would be extremely easy for my daughter, toddlers, and old people, I am telling you, it is not. Oh, this one of the trees, someone carved out the arrow. I wanted to show you that. So when you come and you're like, I have no which way to go. Though I have looked back now on the website and trails.com thinking that maybe on one of these turns, we actually might have gone the wrong way. And that's why it got extremely hard on us for a short period before we entered the falls. Like I'm telling you, there's stuff all over the trail. Oh, and this is another few. They had some unusual cars there. My daughter was just like mystified with this one because it actually had a lot of bullet holes. I don't know how it got there, why there are bullet holes. If someone knows, let us know down in the comments. And I want to let you know, even though you're thinking, oh, it's 2.5 miles, that's no big deal. It is quite the hike. It's not like it is flat. I mean, you have seen some of my workouts and stuff that I normally run 8, 9, 10 miles easy. This is not, and you know, maybe it's my age. I'm trying to be extra careful. I don't want to trip and fall. You know, I have had a broken Achilles before actually doing something at the gym, but now I'm like paranoid to re-rip it. But I will tell you, parts of this were not that easy. It's pretty, especially for Elena, coming back especially, there was a few parts that were a little bit more challenging. And I have read that when it rains there, it's definitely not the place to go because they have some up and down parts that when it's muddy, I just can't imagine doing it. I don't even know how you could. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just don't have the right shoes on. Maybe I'm not really a hiker, as my son has told me after this hike. And maybe I'm not really meant for hiking, even though I do enjoy, like, look at this. You don't think you can really tell. It goes, like, straight down, y'all. Straight down. I'm like, no. Here's the part where you have to cross the river. Now, I have heard that on some days this is extremely high, and you got to be ready. Obviously, we all had to be careful. Elena, no, I didn't show you this part, but she starts saying, she doesn't make it without getting her shoes wet. But here we are. We finally made it to the falls. It is pretty, I think, because they haven't had a lot of rain. I've heard that people swim in here, which I'm like, it wasn't that deep. I think it's certain times of the year that is deeper. The waterfalls are more robust, but right now it's been really hot this year. But I've also heard in the fall it can be hard because then if there's too much rain, then you slip sideways on the way there, on the way back. Oh, there's my husband, John. And so here's the waterfalls. It was pretty, but I will tell you, like I said, don't go in the evening. Don't make my mistake. Bring bug spray and give yourself plenty of time because it did take us way longer than we could have ever expected, or I ever expected. I was like 2.5 miles. We'll be there in like 30 minutes, 45, walking slow. I would think it took us like an hour and a half down and an hour and a half back. Well, I hope you guys are getting out, getting active with your families, enjoying this time where we will never have this quiet time and just, hang out, get active. I just want to show you our little hike this week because actually we're celebrating my son's birthday tomorrow, and so I thought I'd just do this real quick and show you guys. I do hope you guys have a great week, and we will see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.